Hello and welcome to Money Talk. This is where we take fancy financial lingos, break it down, turn it into simple everyday language so you stay informed, be financially smarter, and take control of your money more confidently. To our returning a new audience, thank you. Okay, let's get right into it. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 2025 New Tax Reform Act, what's changing and what this means for you. So I'm just going to be talking about that a bit. So we all know what a tax is. Yes, tax is just that money that individuals and businesses actually pays to the governments of the country where they're residing in, country of their origin. So yeah, that's just what a tax is. And that's how our schools, our roads, transportation, and even security agencies, that's how they get funded. So it's pretty important that you as an individual or a business owner pay tax. So now, right on to the 2025 Tax Reform Act. What's changing? So we all know the President of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, recently signed off on 4 important tax bills. And that cuts across the Nigerian Tax Bill, the Nigerian Tax Administration Bill, the Nigeria Revenue Service Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Bill. Now, all of these tax bills that I mentioned recently got a go from the President of Nigeria. And the new Reforms Act, they're going to start taking place effectively January 2026. Now, what's changing? The first thing that's going to be changing come 2026 is the body known as the Federal Inland Revenue Service would cease to exist come 2026. They are now going to collectively be known as the Nigeria Revenue Service. Now, this just means the scope of their responsibility is broadened, and the purpose of this is actually to curb multiple taxation if you're a business owner. So they're actually just there to ensure that businesses are run smoothly and there's a unified way of collecting our revenue. So that's one change to look forward to come 2026. Now, what else is changing in the new Tax Reform Act? There's an increase in capital gain tax. Now, capital gain tax is just the tax that you pay off a profit you make from selling an asset or selling a goods. So say you sold an item and the money you gained from it is, say, 10,000 naira. You're expected to pay tax off that 10,000 naira. That's the capital gain tax. Now, in the new reform that's just been passed, they're saying it has been upped from 10% to 30%. So as a business owner, come 2026, you're going to be expected to actually pay a 30% on capital gain tax. But if you're an individual, you're just going to be paying that based on what you earn. So it's going to be on a pay as you earn basis. So if your salary is higher, guess what? You're going to be paying a higher percentage of the capital gain tax. But if your salary is lower, then it just means you're going to be paying lower. And another thing to look forward to is actually the low income relief. So in the tax bill, the government is saying if you're an individual and you're earning 1.3 million naira per annum, that's about, say, 100K monthly, the government is saying you're going to be exempted from paying income tax. Like, you're going to be exempted. You're not going to be required to pay anything on income tax. And there's also a full exemption on pay as you earn income tax for members of our armed services. So if you're in the military, the police, the government is actually saying you're not going to be expected to pay income tax. Pretty exciting. But, excuse me, talking about Nigeria is making me parched already. But now for the big boys, the big girls, the Oga, the tops, the Goya Menos and the likes, are you going to be expected to pay tax? Yes, because you're not low income earners, y'all are the ballers. So the government is actually saying you are going to be paying 25% on income tax, especially if your business makes at least you cash in a profit of 50 million naira and above yearly per annum. You're able to rack in 50 million naira and above. The government is actually saying you will be required to pay 25% from the profits that you make. But if you're a small business owner, the good news is if you're a small business owner now, under the new Reform Act, a small business is actually classified as businesses who make 50 million and below per annum. So if your profits is from 50 million naira below, the government is actually saying you will be fully exempted from paying income tax. And there's even a clause there that's pretty interesting, that if you get fired, your employers, they lay you off and they decide to compensate you with 50 million naira. You're not going to be required to pay any tax on that money. I mean, one can only dream, right? Yeah, we can only dream. But yeah, that's just what's going to be changing come 2026. Another change to look forward to on this new Tax Reform Act is the government is saying for most of the essential goods and services that we actually have, such as foods, agricultural products that are actually produced in Nigeria, baby products, sanitary towels, school fees, electricity, fuel products, the government is actually saying these products are going to be exempted from value-added tax. That's VAT. Now, what is VAT? Value-added tax is just the money that we pay for most of the goods and services that we have, or that we buy rather. So that's just tax that we pay for most things that we buy. So you know how you go to the supermarket and then they give you your receipts, and then you're seeing the list of items that you buy, the prices, then you're seeing VAT. And then you're wondering, what's this VAT? Yes, you're actually paying tax for those products that you bought. But the government is saying for most of those products, like the ones that I mentioned before, there's going to be a removal of VAT. You're not going to be expected to pay VAT. Now, VAT still remains at 7.5%. So what this means is if you get, say, a shoe for 10,000 naira, you're going to be expected to pay a VAT fee of 750 naira. So it means your total, by the time you get a receipt, it's going to be 10,750 naira. So the seller keeps 10,000 naira and 750 naira is sent to the government on your behalf. That's your VAT. That's how you give back to the government on the goods and services that you got. Now, what's interesting is there's a way this VAT is going to be split. Now, the federal government is going to be taking 10%. The state government is going to be taking 55%, while the local government is going to be taking 35% of this VAT. Now, based off this division, we can see the state government is actually going to be getting a bigger chunk of the cake that you are going to be sharing amongst these three arms of government. Now, what this just means is, guys, get ready to take your civic duties more serious, so you're able to hold your governors accountable when they don't do what you expect them to do, because you're actually paying this tax that is expected to improve the states that you live in and by effect improve your way of living. Now, there's a new formula for actually sharing this VAT. So the government is saying come 2026, the proposed formula will be that 50% is shared equally amongst all states. Now, once that 50% is shared equally, 30% is going to be shared to the states with more derivations. That's states that bring more contributions. You get to split 30%, while 20% is going to be shared based on your population. So if you're a state who have more persons, then you're expected to split the 20%. Oh, I need water. I feel like she give me water. But guys, I'm going to keep talking. So now for our crypto guys, oh, it actually did. Thank you. I think I should have asked for juice, but okay, I'll settle for this. Okay, now, so for our crypto guys and crypto ladies, one thing to look forward to come 2026 is the government is saying that for every trade that you make, you are going to be expected to report and declare all of your trades in Bitcoin, whatever it is. The government is saying, guys, from now, come 2026, you're going to have to report and declare all of these. Guys, what this just means is party is over, guys. No more partying. Because now, the governments, they're telling you that you got to get ready to declare and say, yes, this is what I did. Well, So personally, I just feel like every Nigerian in Nigeria should actually take their time to go through this new tax reform act, read it, understand it, so you actually know what the government is going to be expecting from you come 2026, and then you know that, okay, yes, this is what is required of me. And for you who would realize that, okay, you're not even going to be expected to pay any form of tax, you're not going to know until you actually read and get knowledge. Like they say, information is power, knowledge indeed is power. So guys, another thing to actually know is the purpose for this new tax reform act is actually to make more individuals and businesses compliant and to widen the tax net. That's make more people accountable to paying the government the tax and also actually make you compliant. So what this just meant is there's going to be stricter compliance rules. Guys, if you're a business owner, please get all your receipts right. Reconcile your books. Get the documents that you know you should have, because now these guys are going to be taking all of these things serious. Now, there's no more playing. There's no more wakalaka. There's no more going around the corners. They're actually here for business. So please reconcile your books, file your returns on time, because they're saying if you don't do these things timely, or you don't do it at all, or you do not even do it well, they're saying you are going to be fined. And guys, please, you're already paying tax. There's no need to be fined. So let's just reconcile your books and get everything done right, because the government would actually expect that these receipts are provided accurately and timely. So guys, before I go, I think personally the big question I just have would be, what impact would this increase, this 30% increase in capital gain and the 20% increase in personal income, what impact would it have on final consumers, those people who are the end users of this product? What impact would it have on them? Because if these businesses have to pay this chunk from the profits that they make, should I as an individual, should you as an individual worry that come 2026 there'll be a spike in the price of goods and services that we buy at the moment? I mean, it's already high. So if there's this increase, should I expect it to go higher? Well guys, that's a 2026 to actually look forward to. I am looking forward to it. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like our videos, remember to share them with anybody really and everybody, and subscribe. Click on that notification bell so you get notified anytime there's an update. And yes, if you have comments, if you have opinions, if you have questions, go into our comment sections and drop your questions, drop your comments, drop your opinions. And in our next video, we actually look forward to having an analyst who would actually be here to actually help us dissect and actually look more into this tax reforms. What's the gain? I mean, what should be questionable? I personally am looking forward to the next video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.